Alright, good morning YouTube. Today on Random Acts of Carving, we're going to be carving my favorite kind of wood. This is free, so we're going to work on the little chipmunk on here, and just going to make a little wall hanging, a little carved out chipmunks. So stick around and we'll carve them out. Here we go. Alright, here we go on this one. Today we're working on a little chipmunk, like I said at the beginning, and just starting to carve them out here with a Dremel, and quickly got tired of that and switched to the Fordham, and just to remove wood a lot faster. I had some new bits for this, so I was able to take a lot of wood off in a hurry. When you're carving a chipmunk, it's basically like carving a little bear. Pretty much the same thing, it's just a lot smaller scale. Where this is almost life size on a regular chipmunk, it'd probably be really small for a bear. They do have a lot of similarities though. They live in the woods and come down to your house and get in your garbage and tear your house apart if you let them. Furry, they hibernate just like bears. Maybe not as long, but they do hibernate sometimes. And so yeah, it's just basically a little bear with racing stripes. Here I'm just whittling them down to size and getting the legs where I want them. And wasn't sure what I was going to put for the in his little hands yet. His front hands. Thought about maybe putting a little acorn or nut of some sort. Decided on a little tiny can of beer or soda pop, whatever you want to call it. The most important thing when you're carving these is just getting the legs and the little front arms or front legs about the right size. You just gotta watch the scale on them and make sure your eyes are even from side to side, ears are even from front to back. They're good little practice things. Sometimes you can turn their head a little bit if you want to practice just giving it a little bit of character. This one I carved pretty much straight. He's got his back legs straight and his front feet straight holding the can, and his head's pretty straight on there. I didn't have a live chipmunk to go by, or even a 3D model of one. I was just going off pictures, so, and my memory is seeing them several years ago. They don't have chipmunks in Florida. We had them in Pennsylvania when I lived there years ago.
I got back down to the Dremel and just once I got the heavy part of the wood off of there, I just went back down to the Dremel so I could get the detail using that flame tip bit, and going in and digging out around his feet and his legs and his tails, and just giving them the general shape of the muscles and stuff that the little chipmunks has. Here I'm taking a real fine rotary bit, just going in and digging his little toes out, shaping them a little bit. It goes down to a real fine point on the end, so I can get in and make some real little details. The little fingers on his front feet are tiny. They're about, I don't even think they were a quarter of an inch long. So, getting in there and rounding those off and making them all look like little separate little fingers is a lot of fun. Lots of times when I'm turning that around too, I'm getting the best angle that I can get for the carving tool, but I'm also looking at how things line up. You get a bunch of different views on it. You can see if something's, one eye's way ahead or way low or way high, or one of the ears is too far forward or turned a different way. So you just kind of look at it from the top, you look at it from the front, you look at it from the sides, and after you do a lot of them, you kind of get used to just looking at that. You kind of just take it for granted, I guess, that you're doing that, but you still have to just stay conscious of the fact that if you don't pay attention for a minute, one of his ears is going to turn out a quarter of an inch further in front of the other one. I'm kind of going over him and sanding him a little bit with a burr, but I'm also using it to put the fur on him. So trying to sand in a specific direction so that it looks a little bit like a fur or a fine fur detail. Even though I was going to paint him, I wanted the detail of the fur in there a little bit. And just adding some little details on his nose there, and I also added a couple little details I didn't show up, but right at the bottom of his ears are just little indentations they have. And then started with some different colors of browns and tans and orange, and just putting some base colors on them. I was using an antique white and then mixing it with some browns, some light brown, and a little bit of orange in some spots, just to give them some different colors in there. There's a lot of different colors on a little chipmunk. I was looking at pictures of chipmunks so I could get the coloring somewhat right. My phone kept shutting off. When you get that eye painted in there, it just brings them to life pretty quick. All of a sudden he goes from a little carving to a little chipmunk. Using a light pink on here just to give it that base color of pink underneath, and then I'm going to go back over with a little bit of a brown wash or a black wash just to darken it up, make it look more natural. So I got the chipmunk just about done. Decided not to paint his beer can or soda can. Just putting on some gray and some brown, blending the part that I had cut away back in with the stick. Make him look like he's just sitting on an old stick. Pretty happy with the way he turned out. I'm just going to give him his name here and then finish up the video. Thanks for watching.
Alright, well, we got this week's video done. It's a little chipmunk. I named him Cold Snacks. And just going to hang him on a wall. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and we'll make some more videos, and see you next week.